Right, March could go down as one of the biggest months in the history of crypto, and it's not because of what's happened with prices. It's about because of what is happening in terms of demand and in terms of what's happening in the infrastructure. And these are topics that we've talked about before, but now we get to actually put them together. So one, we had the Dencun upgrade, which we've talked about a little bit, but this is an upgrade to the Ethereum network that basically made it to where these layer twos like Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK, and others are going to be able to process transactions in a less expensive way, and more people are going to be able to be validators because they're not going to have as much data. They're not going to have to download as much data, not to get into all the gory details, but you combine the fact that you're going to be able to have faster, cheaper transactions, which means more adoption, which means more building for the network. More adoption, of course, means more money being put in to the network, but also more people just utilizing it for stable coins, utilizing it to move payments around, all those things that we've been wanting to do. But to this point, we've said it's too slow and it's too expensive. And now with the Dencun upgrade, we've seen the fees for these layer twos, again, Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK, go way, way down. So we're going to be able to potentially build those applications that allow me to do the proverbial pay for a cup of coffee using my crypto, and it'll be instantaneous and it'll cost virtually nothing for myself and for the coffee shop. So that's a big piece. Having more people be able to be validators because they don't have to have as much data, it's not as data intensive, that's a big deal too. It makes Ethereum more decentralized. It makes it to where there are more validator nodes, more validators out there, which takes away the idea of way too much centralization. So then you couple that with the fact that BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, they've obviously the real impetus to get the Bitcoin spot ETF approved. They've obviously applied for an ETH ETF. And Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, has talked on and on about how the spot ETFs are just the beginning. We're going to tokenize everything. And he's not doing it in a FOMO kind of way. He's not doing it because it's just a hot thing to do. He's doing it because he thinks there's a great deal of efficiency to be had there. And that's what he said over and over. And then Monday of this week, March 18th, is when BlackRock put in a Reg D application with the SEC to launch a digital asset fund. And the important part about this, not just that it's a fund of digital assets, we're actually not quite sure what's going to be in the fund, but it's going to be tokenized. And we know that because they're working with a company called Securitize, who has been in the tokenization realm for years and years. They've been in the tokenization realm as long as I've been in this business. I've known of Securitize. Securitize, by the way, also owns On-Ramp Invest, which allows financial advisors to have crypto portfolios. So think about this now. Securitize is going to help BlackRock tokenize this fund. As of now, it's a Reg D offering, meaning it's only going to be for accredited investors, but potentially those investors are going to get to own the token, and a company like On-Ramp Invest is actually going to be able to potentially help financial advisors, help RIAs, help their clients own that token on chain. So this is really interesting because now we also have this demand we've been talking about, this demand for the network, for the Ethereum network, that isn't necessarily driven by crypto assets, by speculation, by yield farming, or people that are degens, completely on chain. This is taking off-chain assets and going to move them on chain because BlackRock is experimenting with this fund. By the way, they already put $100 million in USDC, $100 million worth of USDC in the Securitize to get this started. So this is a big deal. This month is a big deal for Ethereum. One, we had the biggest upgrade since we went to proof of stake. And then we also have BlackRock saying, not only are we talking about this, but we are going to make it happen. We're going to start with potentially a $100 million digital asset fund, and we're going to tokenize it. These are the kinds of things that are going to get to where financial advisors, RIAs like you, are going to have to learn about this. You're going to have to understand the difference between the tokenized BlackRock fund and a regular BlackRock fund. You're going to have to understand the differences in custody and what options are available for you and what other options are available for your clients in terms of some sort of liquidity or in terms of some sort of loaning or anything like that. This is where BlackRock is just pushing, not only pushing the narrative, but pushing the technology and saying, we think it's going to be more efficient, and we think that so much that we're going to get things started. This is not a crypto company saying, please, please, please use our technology to go buy buy some real estate and hold it in a token. This is BlackRock saying, we're going to do what we always do. You guys are going to like the fund. And by the way, the notion of that fund is going to exist on chain. So again, we might look back at March 2024 and go, this was the most important month in the history of Ethereum, because it's not that we're looking for the spot ETF, which might or might not come in May. It's that we're looking at real adoption cases, infrastructure changes and real adoption cases, both coming in the same month.